Good afternoon. You're welcome to today's episode of the Tech Talk Show with me, Kazeem. And today on the show, we're going to be talking about how we can leverage Microsoft Power Platform to solve many of our business challenges. And my guest on today's show is Alan Evans. Hello, sir.
Good morning or good afternoon for you.
Yes. So you're very much welcome on the show with me today.
Thank you.
So how about we start things with you introducing yourself first. Who is Alan Evans? Let's start things from there.
Okay. So, like you said, my name is Alan Evans. I am what Microsoft calls a technology strategist. My role, how I describe myself to enterprise customers is I can pretty much talk about anything with the word Microsoft in it. So I can pretty much talk. I've been in this business about 35 years. So I've pretty much seen and done most everything in our industry. And so
Yes.
with that, I've kind of coined a phrase with my customers that I try to help them figure out what they're going to be when they grow up. So all customers, right? All customers are in some form of maturity. Some are very, very mature, and some are not. Same with people in their skill sets. And so my role is to really just help customers understand what's available from a Microsoft perspective. And the good thing about my role is I get to tell customers if Microsoft's not the right way, right? I mean, we don't do everything. And so, my role as the CTO for them, as a virtual CTO, allows to help them grow. So that's kind of my role within Microsoft.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So let's get straight at it now. Now, with all the cool stuff that people are doing with the Power Platform, I like to think that nobody today is alien to it. But for a moment, let's just pretend that there are some of our listeners who really don't know much about Power Platform. So, how do you want to help us define what Power Platform is? And what kind of business needs now does it help us solve?
Yeah, so the really cool thing about the Power Platform, all up, right, is it's a combination of Power BI, it's Power Automate, which is formerly Flow. It has some new features around we call them virtual agents, Power Virtual Agents. The ability to create rapid chatbots. What the Power Platform really gives to people is, I'll step back. Back in the day, if you wanted to code something, right, you had to have a degree in computer engineering. You had to, you had to understand everything, all the nuances around the around a platform. Well, today, now, with the way the platform is designed, it's really for citizen developers, right? It's really for we call it low code, no code platform. Developing a Power App, a Power application on your phone, or for any medium for that matter, is really, you just kind of visualize what you want within the tool set. You kind of drag and drop what you want. From a data connector. It's, I have this data connect, or I have this piece of data I want to connect to. You just kind of drag and drop to it, and the platform does that. So it really gives users or consumers basically the ability to create applications that solve whatever need they want.
Okay. There are about 4 different products now that makes up the Power Platform, just like you mentioned earlier. Now, do you want to help us understand how does the dots connect with these different tools? How do we make the most of it? Is it best we use them collectively now, or is it best to use them independently of each other? How do we make the most of this tool?
Yeah, it's really a connected tool, right? They can all be used as independent applications,
Yeah.
but then they can all be interconnected. So if you think about Power BI, let's just start with that, right?
Okay.
Power BI in and of itself is a visualization tool, right? It allows you to present your data, present your information that you're trying to convey in a variety of different mediums, right? If your CEO or your executive staff likes to see bar charts, you can present bar charts, right?
Yeah.
Uh, it has the ability to, like I said, it's the visualization layer. But
Yes.
underneath the covers of Power BI, it has uh, a very robust engine behind it for doing data manipulation, data translation. You
Yeah.
can take you can use Power BI with our data connectors.
Yes.
You can. What I love about Power BI for people that have never used it is you could take a set of data and you could you could take that data, connect it to Power BI, and then using the AI that Microsoft provides, you could tell it to just say, show me something about the data,
Yeah.
right? You don't even have to know what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
You can just
Yes.
say, here's a bunch of weather data. Here's a bunch of financial data. Here's just a bunch of data. Tell me what you see, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Computer, right? Just tell me what you see.
Yeah.
And using the power of Power BI and the power of
Yeah.
AI, it can unlock that data in ways you've never seen. And so, I could go on about Power BI about what it does, but let's kind of slip to the next one, right? So Power
Okay.
Apps.
Yeah.
So it's an application development arena, right? It's a sandbox. It can talk to data connectors. It can talk to our AI builder. It can talk
Yeah.
to other common data services. And
Yes.
so you as a developer, you want to rapidly prototype something, right? You know what you want it to look like, but you really don't have any idea about how you want to code, right? You don't know a coding language. The Power
Yes.
Apps allows you to say, it's basically, the way I like to view it is, I have an idea. I want to drag and drop on on a canvas within the
Yeah.
application, and I just want to see if I can if I can make it work, right? I want to I want to have some kind of input, or I just want to have a very quick uh, application that I want to get out in a
Yeah.
platform where I have to know how to code. Now I'm being very, very high level, very rudimentary in some of this. I mean, by
Yes.
most of these, I mean, Power Apps can run anything. I mean, it is a full-fledged. It's not like it's a little kid's application, right? It's a full-fledged application environment that you can link and run your business with. And there are some businesses internally to Microsoft. We
Yeah.
we use things like Power Apps to schedule time off, right? To look at our vacation, right? We don't have to go to a website. We grab a Power App that was written for that purpose, and with one
Yes.
click of the I can see what my vacation is or something like that, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
but I could also I could also do a performance review if I wanted to, right? So it could basically do, it has the power to do whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's kind of slide over to Power Automate. So
Okay.
Power Automate used to be Flow, right? Used to
Okay.
be workflow. Um,
Yes.
what I love about Power Automate is it allows you, if you have a defined and there's a lot of ways to use it. I'll just explain one way that I use it. If you have a defined workflow, like I send you an email, you need to approve it. That approval goes somewhere else, then they approve it, that goes somewhere else. That can be very time consuming. And if you're trying to automate a process, you can be very, you could skip a step. What Flow does is it allows you to automate that workflow. It can also, and again, I'm being very rudimentary in what it can do. It has the ability to make process decisions, right, based on a set of criteria. I actually, I use something where like social media, right? We're on Twitter and LinkedIn, and so I use Power Automate personally. I have it linked to like a Twitter account, and I have it using other cognitive services like AI. I have it linked to see if somebody that's sending a tweet is actually happy or sad, right? It uses sentiment. Well, that's not something that I would normally do, right? Right? So I take like Power Automate, and I'm like, hey, I only want to read happy tweets. Right? I don't want to. So that, like, again, that's how the power of it could do anything that you want. But in a business aspect, right, it's to help automate general flows.
Okay.
The last one is the virtual agents. Now, I must say right from the beginning, I have not personally built the chatbots. I haven't had an opportunity yet to get my grandson into being able to do a chatbot, right? So, but the virtual agent is just that, and it's intelligent virtual agents, right? And it's a little off the Power Platform, but if you look at what AI and other cognitive services are doing around parity with speech and with language, you tie the power of speech recognition into a virtual agent. Now you're on a website, you can ask a virtual agent in virtually any language. I mean, imagine having a call center and having somebody sit in the call center that could speak every language on the planet.
On the planet, wow.
Now,
but have we gotten to that point yet where all of the languages is understood by the virtual agents, or there are still some languages perhaps that we're still trying to build?
Yeah, there's still some languages that aren't out there. I don't have the stat in front of me, but I want to say it's not to say it's the majority of the popular ones, but it's the business ones, right? Business ones. It understands a lot of dialects. I think that's where we can get into languages that, yes, you can have the base language of a region, but then you can have multiple dialects. I don't think that we're there on all of those, but definitely the ones that are used in business. I do know that those are there. So.
Okay. So I want people really to be able to connect the dots pretty much with what we're saying now. So I want to check, and I know you've been playing your role for a very long time. So can you help the listeners understand the Power Platform now with an example of how this product has helped, say, a notable customer now of Microsoft? Is there something you can share?
Yeah. So we demo. In today's world, right? People want our platform around Teams. I know this conversation is around Teams, but Power Platform will fit into Teams, right? So as a medium, and so we actually demo here in Microsoft something we call the Crisis app. And what the Crisis app does is it's built on the Power Platform. And what we try to show people is, over in California for us, there's tornado, or not tornadoes in California, but there are earthquakes, there's forest fires and things like that, and you want to be able to check in quickly, right, and say, hey, are you safe? And so what we have put together, and we demo to customers to kind of show them, is this Crisis app. And what it allows you to do is it's a Power app that pops up in Teams. You can say from the Power app, you can click on it and say, I'm okay, or I'm not okay. And that's all the app does from the user perspective. I'm okay, I'm not okay. What does the app do? The app, through the Power Platform, the app finds your GPS location. It takes a picture of you. It connects to Teams and sends a status message to the Teams channel saying Alan's okay or Alan needs help, right? And it takes, so you figure from a user perspective, I'm in a crisis. I just need to say I need help. I click the button, it captures through the Power Platform, through all the data connectors, it captures all that information, sends it to a team channel for those people that are monitoring it to say, hey, Alan needs help, and this is where he was at. GPS location, everything. We use that, so that's a connect the dot. The other ones that I'll say that's a little on the lighter side is internally to Microsoft, we have a Power app that does a lot of our general HR.
Okay.
So here I am. I want to, if you're in an organization, I want to go on vacation. Well, how do I do that? I have to call my boss, tell them I want to go on vacation. I may have to log into a website. That it may have to go to payroll. There's all these different things that it may have to do. Well, using the Power Platform, Microsoft's IT, Microsoft's developers created an application where all I have to do as the employee is say, I want vacation on this day. On the back end, it connects to payroll, make sure that I have the time off. It puts in the time. It sends an email to my boss, to my manager, that says I've requested time off. My manager then can forward the email through Power Automate, right? Throws an email back into HR to say, yes, this email is, this vacation is approved. So, it seems very simple, but there were 3 different applications that were used with one click of the button from me.
Yes.
Right? Yes. The Power app itself, and then all the data connectors that do that, and then although I don't see it, but using Power BI, I can log in and track my vacation and see where am I going, what have I done, right? Because I can use other data connectors to say I took vacation over our Thanksgiving. What did I do, right? So how do I tie that? So I can tie business, personal, all of it.
Wow. That's a very good one. What kind of business application now can we build with Power Platform? Can we really build very sophisticated apps? You've mentioned one now. Or are there limitations to the kind of apps now that we can build with Power Platform?
I'll sound a little cheeky here, but you can develop. The only limitation you have within the Power Platform or within the Power set of tools is your own imagination, right? I truly believe that, because if you take the Power Platform, it can cross or span Office 365. It can span all of Azure. It can span Dynamics 365. And it can span other standalone applications that have data backends, right? So if you think about, the power of Azure and all the tools that Azure has built into it and I know that you've talked about this on the shows, right?
Yeah.
The power of Azure just from the cognitive services alone, from the analytics services, from the analysis services, you can take Power Apps and be, like I said, you can be a citizen developer. You don't have to have a degree in computer engineering to do this.
Yes.
You could develop Power Apps that leverage everything that I just mentioned, right? You like a feature, you like the AI that's in Azure. You can have an application that can use that or leverage that against your own data, right? Or against anybody's data that you have the right permission and access to. Right, we haven't even gotten into the conversation around governance of data and how you could use Power Automate to really kind of help manage that and report upon that. Power BI to display when there's issues or to display trends or, again, virtualize your data or visualize your data.
Okay. So if we can do all these very cool, wonderful things with the Power Platform, where then does it put the likes of tools like the C Sharp, the .NET tools, all those IDEs? Where does it put those tools? And does it also mean that the .NET developers now are left with no choice but to embrace and learn about Power Platform?
Like I said, I've been in this business 1 or 2 days. So,
Yeah.
I'll say it's it never puts, in my opinion, and this is literally my personal opinion, because I used to teach college for a little bit, and I would tell students and I would tell people, everything can build upon itself, right? I was a .NET developer years ago. I know C and C Sharp. I also know languages that don't exist anymore, right? I think things like the Power Platform have a use, but there's also there's still a massive use for things like .NET, right? A lot of our applications have a lot of those developers left, and that language in and of itself has a specific use. I think the key for me around the Power Platform is that, and I've said the word before, citizen developers, right? People that live in I call them, they're financially significant Excel spreadsheets, right? People that people that live in Excel for their as a day job. These group of people, they fully understand the power of Excel, for instance. What if they could then understand and visualize that data using Power BI? Right, so that skill set didn't go away; it enhanced. So I look at it as there's still a place for .NET. There's still a place for other developers, for C level, C Sharp level developers. Power Platform is just another way to develop, right? It's just another to develop in, and sometimes it's better suited it's better suited for the application or for the function that you're trying to to complete.
Okay. Thank you. There are also many, if we look at it, most of us in our place of work, we have many problems lying around. But I think majority of these problems can be solved with tools that we already have. Like I know a lot of customers, for instance, will buy a Microsoft 365 subscription, but they are only using email and using it to set up meetings. That's all they do with their subscription now. Yes, and sometimes we have certain business problems that a number of these tools, like I mentioned, can help us with. But either we don't know that we can do them with some of these tools that we already have, or we're just comfortable, doing things the old way. So,
Mhm.
what advice do you have to this kind of customers? They've invested heavily on some of these tools, but they just don't happen to leverage them.
Kazeem, that is probably what I spend the majority of my day doing in some cases. Customers buy something. And like you said, they buy it because they need one feature. Part of my job is to help customers understand what the tool set can do. And here's my teaching hat on is it's education. And Microsoft has done an immense amount of work around giving out knowledge and education. What I would say is there are our Learn site, our Microsoft Learn has been completely revamped. It's aka.ms/learn. There, if you go there, it is. If you went to that website and you typed Power Platform, you could take we have the Power Platform fundamentals. So I want to say it's like a 4-hour course. You can actually take a certification for it. But if you really wanted to kind of like just see what all the different things can happen within the Power Platform and kind of get your lips wet, you're like, oh, I just kind of want to, this looks good. I want to know more about it. I would definitely say go to the Learn site and watch a 20-minute video on what it could do. Not that things like YouTube and stuff like that aren't valid. But what I say is the Microsoft Learn site is curated by Microsoft people, right? It's free. It's 100% free. So you don't have to see. You can sign up and put your information in it, but you can also watch the things anonymously if you wanted to. My recommendation is go and take half an hour video course on Power BI, on Power Automate, and kind of get the marketing view of it, right? Kind of get the sales view of it, of what it can do. And then if the surface it kind of whets your appetite, and then dive deeper into education. To me, education is key. The more you know.
Okay. So we're almost running out of time now, but before I let you go, I'm going to have to put you on the spot now. Before we close out, of all these 4 products from the Power Platform family, which of them is your favorite, and why do you like that particular one best?
Well, I think I love, it's really 2. I really love Power BI. And the reason why is it allows me to visualize my data in ways that you can't imagine. I have a friend of mine who's actually a data specialist. He actually uses Power BI to keep track of his kids' chores that they have at home. I'm not that excited about chores, but he uses it to keep track of chores. And then the other thing I use, like I said, I use on a daily basis is the Power Automate. Right? There's certain things that I just, it's so easy to do a task repetition, and I'm not a massive developer, so I don't really get into all the things that it can do, but. Between Power BI to be able to see just the power to give it data and say, tell me what you see. I really like that tool.
And if I may quickly, I see you have a number of tweets now on social media, on Twitter and on LinkedIn as well. Is this one of these tools doing that for you, or is it?
So actually, it's another tool. So the the LinkedIn stuff, the stuff I post on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Useism is, I've read through it. I like it. It posts. Now there's automated tools that help with that. On Twitter, what I use is I use a combination of a couple of tools. I use
Okay.
Azure. I use a tool called Azure Logic Apps. And what
Okay.
I do is I like to share. So when I see somebody that tweets about Azure, Power BI, DevOps, any topics that I'm passionate about, I like to make sure that they get an audience as well. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
I use and this will be a topic for another conversation, but I use Logic Apps. I use
Okay. Okay.
Logic Apps that helps with that. So,
Okay.
but Logic Apps and the power of AI. So it
Okay.
helps.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm afraid this is how much time is going to permit us on today's episode of the Tech Talk Wednesday with me, Kazeem. So thank you very much, sir, for spending time with us on the show today.
My pleasure.
But before we wrap up now, any last words from you? Any last words before we say
Oh,
goodbye?
I want to thank you for the opportunity. This was fun. I really am a big proponent around education and around
Okay.
sharing the knowledge. And so my advice and my final thought is the more you know, the better you are. And
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing and getting the word out to everybody. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So, all right. So here is where we're going to call it a close on today's episode. So remember to subscribe. It's the Tech Talk Wednesday on across the social media platform now. So please try to spread the word with your friends, your colleagues, and let's continue to keep safe now. So on that note, it's bye bye from myself and Alan. Thank you, and see you next week.